Okay, today we're working with estimation with decimals to work with multiplying to make it easier. Alright, to estimate products of decimals, you're going to round each number. First, you're going to underline the digit that you're going to round to. Then you look at the digit to the right of the place being rounded. If the digit is 4 or less, the underlined digit will remain the same. If the digit is 5 or greater, add 1 to the underlined digit. So if I take the number 7.4, I'm going to round to the 7, and I'm going to look at the 4, so it tells me whether to leave it as a 7 or raise it to an 8. Since the number to the right of the number, the underlined number, is 4 or less, I'm going to leave it the same. So this is going to become 7.0 or just 7. If I had this number and it was 7.6, I'm still looking at the 7 for rounding purposes, and I look at the number to the right to tell me what to do. This number is 5 or more, so I'm going to have to raise it up to an 8. So it's going to become 8.0 or just 8. Using this for multiplication purposes will help you out a lot. With this estimate right here for number 1, you're going to have 8.7 times 2.8. So I'm going to take it over here and write it. 8.7 times 2.8, and I'm going to take my estimated numbers down below as well as my multiplication symbol. So I'm going to look on 8.7, I'm rounding to the place of the 8, and to do that I'm going to look at the place, one place to the right. One place to the right of the underlined digit is 7. So that's 5 or more, so I have to raise the underlined digit by 1. So 1 more than 8 is 9. So that becomes 9. I bring down my multiplication symbol. I do the same for 2.8. I'm rounding to the place of the 2, so I have to use the place one digit to the right, and it's an 8. So that 8 is 5 or more, so I have to raise this by 1 as well. It goes up, the 2 goes up to 3. Now I have a mental math problem. I can take this 9 times 3, and I know from my multiplication facts that that's 27. Now with both of the numbers that I used to estimate, I went up. So 9 is a little bit more than 8.7, 3 is a little bit more than 2.8. So your estimate is going to be a little bit higher than your actual answer, but it will give you a good roundabout to make sure that when you find your exact answer to this problem, it should be close to 27. It should be a little bit lower, and it's going to have decimal places, but it should be in the ballpark. Right here I have an equal sign. When you're working with estimation, that equal sign is going to become a squiggly equal sign that shows you that it's approximately, it's an approximation that you are estimating, that you're not finding an exact answer. Coming down to example 2, I have to read the directions carefully. It says round to the greatest place value. So the greatest place value, when you see it written like that, greatest place value, that's going to be the digit the furthest to the left. So with 42.6 and 37.2, the furthest digit to the left for 42.6 is going to be the 4. So looking at this, one place to the right is the 2. So the underlined digit is a 4, the place to the right is a 2, so this will stay a 4, and then everything after it will become a 0. So it'll end up estimating out to 40.0, which we can just drop the 0.0 and have it be 40. 37.2, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start with the digit the furthest to the left because we're going to the greatest place value. So we're rounding to the 3. We're looking at the 7 to tell us whether to go up or stay the same. Since it's 5 or more, we're going to go up. This 3 becomes a 4. 40.0, which is also, we drop the 0.0 and just have 40. So now when we come back over here to multiply it out, I have 40 times 40. And anytime you're multiplying stuff that's got zeros on it that it's a multiple of 10, you can, if it's 40 times 30 or 40 times 20 or 40 times 10, or in this case 40 times 40, 4 times 4 we know is 16, and then we have 2 zeros. So it's going to be 1600. Or you can multiply it out the normal way that you would do it. But either way, the product is about 1600. Now if you multiply these two numbers, you're going to get an answer around 1600. It will not be exactly 1600, but it will be in the ballpark. I'm going to do examples A and C here. You will do B on your own once I've done example A and C to make sure that you understand the concept. So for A, we're dealing with 9.6 and 1.8. We're going to go to the highest place value, which is the furthest to the left. So for this, it's going to be the 9. And we're going to look at the 6. Looking at the place of the 9, the place to the right of it is a 6, so we're going to have to go up 1, so 9 becomes 10. For 1.8, you look at the 8, we're rounding to the place of the 1. Since it's 5 or more, the 1 is going to go up to a 2. So bring down your multiplication symbol, this becomes a 2. 10 times 2, your answer is going to be approximately 20. Skipping over to C, we're going to the highest place value. It's the furthest to the left. So for C, the first number is 68.4, so we're going to go to the place of the 6. We have to look one place to the right, so the 6 is going to go up to a 7 because the place to the right is an 8, which is 5 or more. So this becomes 70.0 or just 70, because when we're estimating, we're going to try to drop the decimal place for making the math easier. Bring down my multiplication symbol, and then the next number is 21.3. So going to the highest place value. The highest place value here is going to be the 2. So we underline it. We circle the digit to the right. It's going to be a 1, so it's going to end up staying the same since it's 4 or less, so it becomes 20.0, or we drop it down, get rid of the decimal place. It's just 20. So now I have 70 times 20, and like I told you before, we could just take the two front end because they're both multiples of 10. 7 times 2 is 14, and then take your 2 zeros back. That is the end of the video today. At this time, you're going to do B on your own, and then more practice problems in class.